Yo, what's going on, guys? And we have just heard, yes, the news that is on the streets right now is OG Anunoby is heading to New York. RJ Barrett is heading to Toronto. Isn't that a great turn of events for the Toronto Raptors to get, the Canadian man, RJ Barrett? It's kind of a homecoming. But there had been the report that if OG was traded, Pascal was staying, or if Pascal was traded, OG is going to be traded, or some not going to be traded. My apologies. So it was always going to be one of them going to be traded. Looks like Pascal is going to stay long term. Tell me down below if you're a Raptors fan. Do you think they stay with Pascal, or is this going to lead to Pascal also being traded? But yes, the report is the Raptors and the New York Knicks are finalizing a trade for OG Anunoby to be sent to the New York Knicks for a package that includes RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley, and draft considerations for the man who is one of the premier two-way wings in the NBA. Now, this trade probably takes a lot of people by surprise as it is December 30th, but if you guys have been following along, we made a video yesterday talking about the fact that the Raptors said that today was the deadline that they were giving Pascal Siakam for an extension. I wonder if we're going to hear news now if Pascal Siakam is going to be traded or if he's going to sign an extension within the next couple of hours. So shout out to RJ Barrett, who's going home. OG Anunoby is going to go join Tom Thibodeau, who is a defensive-minded head coach. That's going to help. So we got RJ Barrett as a Raptor, OG Anunoby as a Knicks. So let's just talk about this. Also, Immanuel Quickley is included in this deal. I grew up 15 minutes away from Immanuel Quickley. You guys know I'm a big fan of his. But the thing he was included is they weren't going to pay him. The Raptors need more guard help, so they get guard help in Immanuel Quickley. But the Knicks were not going to pay him. He wants 25 plus a year. He wants that Tyler Hero, Anthony Simons money. So let's go along and talk about each player and how they're going to go. So OG Anunoby this season, statistically, what he's averaging is 15 points a night in 33 minutes a game, shooting 48.9% from the field, shooting 37.4% from three, grabbing about 4 rebounds, dishing out just under 3 assists a night, and getting a steal a game. And what you're getting with this guy who has a 7'2" wingspan on a 6'7" frame, he's only 26 years old, from London, British. I always forget that he's he's a Brit, but he's from across the pond. And OG Anunoby's one of the most versatile two-way players. He can guard basically everyone except maybe some bigs. He can do a little bit of everything. One of the most active guys on defense. He can intercept passes like a safety. He can attack the rim. He gets in passing lanes. He causes havoc on defense, guards inside and out. He's able to, even evolve as an offensive threat from shooting threes, getting to the rim with authority, to the free throw line. He's not necessarily a second option, but he's a legit number 3 option for a contending team. He's a NBA, champion, and he was all defensive second team last year. Now, when you look at a guy like Immanuel Quickley, what are you getting with him? Immanuel Quickley, did you know he has a 6'8" wingspan? I think it might be 6'10" now, but he's more of a combo guard with point guard like skills. Got a great floater game. He's got that tier shot. He can hit all 3 levels, and he's shown that he's got a really good 40%, type 3-point shot, and he's still developing, but he's a 6-man year candidate this year and last year. 6'3". He's getting better. I think he's getting close to his ceiling, but he's a guy that so far this season is, for primarily being an off the bench guy, he's averaging 15 points a night, 45% from the field, 39.5% from 3, just under 3 assists and 3 rebounds a game. And yes, he's more of a offensive minded player, but he's a good player for the Raptors. So OG Anunoby is just a championship type player. He's going to slot in right next to Julius Randle. I guess their starting center right now is Isaiah Hartenstein. OG Anunoby right there. You still got Dante DiVincenzo, Quentin Grimes, and Josh Hart next to Jalen Brunson as they bring in OG. Just gives them more defense, more two-way ability that they kind of lacked beforehand. So I think that's their big thing, in my opinion. And yeah, I want to hear your guys' opinions. What do you guys think so far of this acquisition? Because now you get RJ Barrett over here on the Raptors. Not only do the Raptors have Immanuel Quickley, who we just talked about, but you get RJ Barrett, who just playing under 30 minutes a night. He's averaging 18 points a game. Last year, he averaged 19.6. The year before that, he averaged 20. He's a guy for his career. He's an 18 points per game scorer. Basically averaging for his career similar numbers what he's averaging this year, about 30 minutes a night, 18 points, 42% from the field, 33% from three, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists. And RJ Barrett's a guy who at 23 years old at this point, and he's gotten paid. They got him on that long-term deal, but he's a guy who can play, he's a 3, but he can be an oversized 2 if you need him to be, or an undersized 4, as he's shown, the potential to be this high quality, starter. And his floor, I think, is being, the 4th option on an okay team. And the shot's still a work in progress. Like, it's shown improvement, and he has no problem getting to the rim, getting rebounds. He's not the best finisher, and he's not, he sometimes gets tunnel vision. But I think right here, when you look at this move, this is just a good move for the Raptors, as they are getting RJ Barrett, who for them, it's a young guy who's 23 years old. It helps them get a guy who's on the timeline of what they're trying to basically just be a younger-esque, I guess you would say, team, a team that was falling. So the Raptors are acquiring a New York 2nd round pick in this deal, and yeah, that's specifically so the Knicks are trading Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and 1 2nd round pick for OG Anunoby. And I think this goes to show that they should have probably traded him earlier. If they're not getting the value for RJ Barrett that they probably could have if they had traded him last year. They were asking for multiple 1st round picks. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is not multiple 1st round picks. This is just a 2nd round pick. And I think this is a win on both sides. You got OG Anunoby was going to go into free agency. The Knicks are probably getting a verbal agreement that he is going to return, okay? But the thing is, he was going to leave. They already lost Fred VanVleet for nothing. So this brings up is Pascal Siakam. I think this is a good move by the Raptors, as they get a guy who's going to be on a long-term contract in RJ Barrett, and they have the restricted free agency and the qualifying offer and the bird rights for Immanuel Quickley. So they're going to bring back Immanuel Quickley if they'd like to. And then OG, he goes to a team looking to win, and now all the teams don't have to kind of pussyfoot around and act like that their current roster were good enough to achieve what the original intentions or goals for the season were. The Knicks wanted to be considered as contenders. This roster with RJ Barrett wasn't, but I think OG Anunoby does bring their ceiling up. So kudos there. You achieved the first goal of what you wanted to do, which was raise your ceiling. This was a ceiling raising deal. Now for the Raptors, you were looking for compensation. You knew you were going to lose OG Anunoby in free agency. So like they always say, just try to get whatever compensation you can for what it might be. So you get yourself OG Anunoby on the Knicks, and I think it's a good deal. It's a good deal, and I mean, I'm not mad at it. I think a lot of people are going to be more surprised by how little OG went for, which is the 2nd round pick. But that's just kind of what happens when a deal like this just gets dragged out. But I'm excited to see how this all ends up. I don't know if you guys hear my dog, but I do like the idea of RJ Barrett going to the Raptors. And yeah, I think there could have been more or less. That I don't know. I feel like at this point, time will tell. I think the Knicks clearly are trying to win a championship, while the Raptors are retooling, and they know that this year is kind of like a gap year, and they're trying to make the best of it. So there's that. That's I kind of see this as of right now. But I thought it was a good move in terms of they took what they could get and didn't leave here empty-handed how they had been in years past. So I think that's kind of what you're taking from this, as we can't just sit here and be like, oh, this was a great situation. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. That's going to be basically today's video.